Oh, what is going on, everybody? Are we up? I think we are. Amazing. Thank you all for joining me today on the ADSR live stream. I'm very sorry for the delay, but I'm so happy to be here. So happy that we could make it. It's the classic thing of as soon as we thought it wasn't coming back, it came back. As soon as we said, basically, doesn't look like it's coming back, let's just call it for the night. What do you know? Hit refresh, and it's back. But welcome, everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Tadeshi. I'm a live electronic music producer, beat maker, educator, and I'm here live every Wednesday on the ADSR channel when my ISP cooperates. We are usually here either making some music or reviewing music from the community like we will be doing today because we take on a production challenge every other week. Just a simple prompt that pushes the community to try something a little bit out of their comfort zone, a little bit different than what their usual, maybe subject of production or whatever it may be. Just something a little outside the box. And today I'm going to be reviewing tracks that were submitted with the prompt of depicting the change of the season. So that was the focus for the previous challenge. But if you want to get involved in some of these challenges, you just want to be part of a great electronic music production community, I do encourage you to join the ADSR Discord because we do these challenges every other week and you can win cool prizes like plugins or $100 store credit for ADSR or a cool t-shirt. And if you didn't have time to enter this round, don't worry because in 2 weeks we'll be doing a new challenge. That being, transpose your Halloween costume into a song. Now that's very interesting. I don't know what you all are planning to be for Halloween, but I would love to hear it because I don't know what I'm going to be for Halloween. Maybe we should have a costume party when we do the track review stream for this. Maybe I should dress up in costume. If y'all have costume suggestions, please let me know. Yes, but please make sure you don't use any copyrighted material, like don't use melodies from a popular theme, don't sample directly from anything. Make sure it's 100% like gonna clear all that stuff because we don't want our stream to get taken down. We want y'all to be in the right, you know what I'm saying? So that's the next sample challenge. Get ready for it. I'll be excited to review all of your music with that. And today, we will, of course, listen to some music. Now, it was a light week. I'm surprised that not a lot of people entered this challenge because I really liked the prompt, the change of the season. I would have been all over that if I were as a participant. But yeah, thank you all for sticking around through the issues. Can't wait to listen to all your tracks today and display them. I will be picking my top 3. Those top 3 will each get a $100 ADSR store card. They get a cool Discord role. They get a cool t-shirt, which I saw my man Edo Yama post a beat video wearing an ADSR t-shirt as well. And of course, my top pick for the week is actually going to be getting a pair of plugins from our friends at D16. And that is the Drumazon plugin and the Phasotron 2 plugin. So please... what is the harm in entering? You literally can just win stuff. It's a no-brainer, folks. Like you enter, you become a better producer because you're pushing yourself to take on a challenge. You're part of a great community. And the best thing that could happen, well, the worst thing that could happen is people hear your music and support you. Like that's like the lowest thing that could happen. And then the highest thing that could happen is, of course, you get something for free. You get some free store credit or plugins like these. And next week we're actually gonna have well, not next week, but next challenge there's like a sweet bundle of plugins, which I'll talk about that at the end because my tabs are all messed up because I didn't expect to go live right away. And one quick other shout before we move on, but make sure you all have the ADSR sample manager. It's completely free and they just dropped some free Halloween sample packs, so check that out. This is literally free. You can see it right there for yourselves. Free. Good way to just store your samples and stuff. I have it on my other laptop, but since I switched, I haven't migrated everything over yet. So probably by next week, I'll have that all situated on this machine. But yeah, good way to get a free jump on that Halloween challenge by using the Halloween sample packs for sure. And if you all want to know a little behind the scenes of what was going on, like while the internet was down, first of all, we're restarting the router. I'm calling them. This happened to me 4 days ago, so I was pretty annoyed because why would the internet go out twice in 4 days? And they have always given me trouble. So, you know, I was doing that whole thing where I was just straight up calling them, talking to them. And then as I'm on the phone with him, he's like, oh, we don't have an outage, but we got to talking more. And then he was like, oh, they literally just posted that there was a fire in the building, in the internet room or something. So I'm like, that can't be. Like, there's been no fire alarms. There's been no fire trucks. I go down to the front desk. My man at the front desk is like frantically trying to fix, like do stuff. And I'm like, is there something like going on? He's like, yeah, there's not a fire. It's just like something in the room, something in the internet connect room or something. So I don't know what the heck was up, but I would say it was about an hour of an outage or 45 minutes, which is an inconvenience at any given time, but it basically happened at 15 minutes before the stream, of course, right? Like the worst possible time. So I'm just glad that we were able to get back up and running here. So hopefully y'all didn't wait, but a shout out to all of you for sticking around and waiting for that half hour. The chat was like super active. Y'all were chilling. I guess it's just the mark of a good community. And I do want to honor that community by kicking things off, listening to some of your music, of course. I'm going to listen to pretty much every track that was submitted today. Listen back. We can give some words of encouragement to the producers out there. I'll give my little thoughts, my little 2 cents. And that will be that. First up, let's listen to my man Stephen Scholes with, as always, his beautiful like orchestral compositions. Let's give this a listen. We get to see behind the scenes of the DAW. Remember, this is to mark a change of the seasons. Change of the seasons. Remalak says, what was I going to do? Get a decent night's sleep? Right. Really beautiful soundscape here. That's a nice theme. Larryboy says, sort of Superman versus Star Trek. Very John Williams-esque, for sure. Venom? How is Venom? Nice. Okay. Nice little outro there. That was actually a very beautiful outro. Let's run that back a little bit. Stephen Scholes, thank you again. Always bringing the cool orchestral sounds. So yeah, the prompt being changed in the seasons, we did see quite the evolution in the track from here to there. I'll say one of the things I noticed about these submissions is not many folks did a very drastic change, which doing a drastic change that sounds cohesive is quite difficult. However, when you think about the drastic difference in seasons, for instance, you think about the beginning of the fall when you can still go out with a t-shirt on versus the dead of winter when it's freezing cold and there's snow on the ground, they look drastically different. They feel drastically different. It would have been cool to see people take on that a little bit more and try to find creative ways to do that. But no less, we did get a nice evolution here. I could see this as almost like an evolution into spring, like from winter to spring or something, like emerging out of hibernation. The one piece of feedback I have for this piece is that this section where the brass comes in, I think brass articulations on brass are really hard to make them sound believable, especially as virtual instruments, even though this is a great instrument library you're using. But just something about the orchestration here. Instead of it being a solo, what sounds like a solo trumpet, I would have had it be a more full brass section, or at least have it layered with some strings. Just something else to back that main theme melody, to make it not just stand out by itself. And then also this range on the trumpet is quite high when that second layer comes in. Not impossible, but slightly... It's just so stark with everything else going on, right? Like, I think there should be more. And you're doing this nice big build-up and swell. I think there could just be more there. Like, this section right here sounds like really, really believable. I find it's very hard to get solo virtual brass to sound super believable. But fantastic entry. Thank you so much, Stephen Scholes, for that. Always bringing us the orchestral vibes and showing us what's going on behind the scenes there, which is very helpful. Let's keep on moving. Next up. All right, we're back on SoundCloud here. We got a producer named Yong. As the season get colder. Let's give it a listen. As usual, if you do like the tracks that you hear, please go support on the artist's page. Give them a follow, give them a subscribe, give them a comment, whatever you can do. Just notice my speakers are on. Really kind of lush sounds here. It's like so sparkly. The chords are probably my favorite feature. Young, are you YJ in the chat? I love that. Stuttery. Here we go. Lit. What's up, YJ? Thanks for being here tonight. And thanks for this awesome track. A little off timing thing there that just happened. I'm not sure if it was intentional. Could have been. Just seems like we're going through a general slowdown. Constantly, I'm imagining it's getting slower and slower. That sound was so cool. Slowly bringing in the redux, bit crush. And that exhale. Very cool. So this is a track that doesn't necessarily have... Whoa, what just happened? This is a track that does not necessarily have a big drastic change in it. But it does have that transition point around the midpoint. And then it does slowly start to slow down and slowly starts getting bit crushed. Which is an interesting approach. And especially I like the title. Plays right into it as the seasons get colder. It's sort of like everything's green and bright like it is here in this photo, and then it starts withering and gets slower and slower and quieter, you know? So I thought that that was a really cool approach and a really good technique. Like I said, I think the chords are some of my favorite features here. What is this sound that happens? That layered lead... I really like that sound. I wish there was more of that in this track for sure. Cool interpretation of the prompt is what I'm trying to say. Piece of feedback that I have for you. Overall, the entire vibe of the track is just cool. Your sound selection is really good. I like the field recording. I don't know if the field recording is panned hard left or if it's panning back and forth, but I would just have that. I'm sitting in the woods. Listening to, and I'm hearing the ambience of the woods. I'm hearing it all around me. I'm not hearing it bounce back and forth between my ears. It almost makes it seem like I'm covering one ear and just listening to the birds chirping over there, and then I'm covering this ear and I'm just listening to the birds chirp over there, you know? And that's not how we... Just be careful with panning. I always harp on that. The other thing is, the main bell melody is literally just playing the tempo. Dun, 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 dun. It's just really right on the beat every single time. And everything is kind of doing that. I mean, your drums are nice and laid back, but the chords are hitting on a downbeat. The bass is hitting on downbeat. Let's do that little walk-up thing. So maybe a melody on top that's singing a bit more. That's doing less of like a robotic dum, 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 dum. That could be one way to bring this track maybe to the next level. But overall, your atmosphere and your sounds and stuff are really fantastic, and I want to hear more from you because you're nailing that creative aspect of things for sure. So good job, Yong. Thank you so much for that submission. That's YJ in the chat, everybody. Make sure you go give him a follow, a like, a comment, perhaps. All of the above, if you like that tune. We got a lot of good lo-fi producers in the community for sure. Okay. Stream. Oh, why am I saying that? The next one is from our friend Dean, who I saw in the chat. Fall Becomes. A different vibe this time around. Let's give it a listen. What does this remind me of? Gin Blossoms or something. I feel like this photo belongs with the last photo. The last album art. Thank you, Hydrotech. Our original college band got accused of sounding a bit like Gin Blossoms. Good call. I wouldn't say accused. I think it's a good thing. I don't think Gin Blossoms are particularly original. It's all from that era, you know? Here we go. Transition. I love the bass. This is usually I harp on like people using too much phaser or flanger. I think this is kind of a good use of it. That's why I love this drum feel. We're bringing in that like mystical piano too. The piano is like the leaves falling off the trees. That said, look, someone put a phaser on correct instrument. Thank you. Yes, it's not on the kick. Very cool. And that kind of atmospheric pad thing happening there is cool. So honestly, if you just listen to that part and we jump back to the beginning, you might forget that this is how we started. That Gin Blossoms kind of 90s pop alt rock sound. The picture of that maple is 8 years old and I cut it down this summer. I should have drawn from that sadness, but I found the pic after. R.I.P. Maple. Dean, thank you for this track. It's really cool. It was a great execution of two completely contrasting sections, and I like the idea of it's like fall becomes. I assume it's fall becoming winter. And I really, really enjoy the second half. I enjoy the second half a bit more than the first half. Nothing wrong with the first half, really, but I think it's just pretty straight ahead and you know, easy to understand, kind of expected, and then you take us into kind of unexpected territory in the second half, which I think is flexing a little bit more of your creative muscle. So shout out to you on that. Feedback on this would be, there's this, I don't know why I just did that. There's this great drum feel that contributes to the contrast of the A and the B section. That kind of like snare rolling, little crash hits here and there. That type of rhythm is really meant to build up tension. And that's kind of what it does for this whole section. We're expecting it to almost evolve into something when we know that that's actually happening in reverse in the song. We're actually gradually releasing tension as it goes down because we're sort of like fading. But I think there would have been a way to take that kind of drum thing and have it resolve to something. Now, I'm not saying come back with a big hit 'em hard section, but I'm saying could that have maybe resolved on something maybe here and you played a little bit more with the atmospherics at the end instead of having that drum roll happen all the way to the end. You know what I'm saying? Resolving to some of those atmospherics that are sounding really good, that are representing, you know, that change of season. That fog in the woods slowly becoming like frozen dew, the snow, the leaves falling and slowly like snow is rolling in, that sort of thing. But I think the most part, you really executed this A and B section situation really well. And I would love to hear you lean more into this style for sure. But Dean, thank you for that submission. Very cool. Very cool. I love that we always get like kind of different styles. I mean, so far we've had orchestral, lo-fi. We've had that's like akin to some 90s and then adding some atmospherics later on, you know. Very cool. Let's keep it rolling. And on that note of like all these different entries and different sounds, we got something cool by Larryboy. Let's give it a listen. It's so loud. Summer rock to fall melancholy. Oh, Dean, I think that's cool. My interpretation worked, but I think that interpretation works as well. This is very music concrete here at the beginning. All right. There's that sound. That sounds like leather or something. I don't know. I like this interpretation of the challenge. Hurricane season. What's up, Jummy Geo? Good handoff from that guitar melody to now the, what do you call this? It's like a marimba. Sega Genesis. Yeah. It gave me a little Sonic vibe. A little like flamenco. Love the little half-speed vibe. Sail, yeah. Similar vibe. I don't know what that sound is, but it really gets me. Cool. Thank you, Larryboy, for that interesting track. Very, very interesting. A lot going on in that track. Man, high energy, cool use of field recording and like setting a tone, and very good execution of like clear A and B section. Or, well, A, B, A, I would say. It kind of repeats those sections. It doesn't just have one half and one half. But cool execution of that, especially with the half-speed feel, as I noted earlier. Wooden bridge? Yeah, I don't know if that's a wooden bridge or what. Really love that intro. Really love that it kind of increasingly fades in from a field recording, and then we start to hear a rhythm that is made with some Foley sounds. So that's really cool. I very much like that. I wish I would have heard more of that in the track as well. Because the track kind of... once the frantic vibe kicks in, I'm like pulling my cables down with my foot. Once the frantic vibe kind of kicks in, I don't want to say frantic, but like high energy, it kind of goes nonstop until we hit those half-speed pieces, which is fine, but it would be good to give the listener some relief. And I'll also say that there's a lot of sounds in this. Like, there's a lot of sound. And the space is really full, especially with high-end. And some of it just seemed like a bit too noisy. And I don't know if it's a matter of over-compression. I know a lot of you were saying you could hear things super well. And I think that is almost a result of some over-compression, because everything is so buzzy. There's almost just like too much high-end in everything. And like that bass right there in particular is like not even coming through all that well. And there's just too much of that high buzzy frequency sound. So I'd just be careful about not necessarily over compressing things, letting things have space to breathe in this mix. And use the field recordings sparingly. Don't always have them present. Take them out strategically, because a lot of those noises can occupy the same space. The flamenco sort of clapping sound, it's not here. Come in here. Nope. That occupies a lot of space in the mid-range, so I'd be careful with that. Those claps would be just as effective if they didn't have some of those lower frequencies in them. I think they would provide the same rhythmic effect without kind of getting in the way of all the other things in the mix. But Larryboy, high energy track, like nothing I heard on these lists of submissions tonight. So congrats on that. Thank you, Larryboy, for your submission. That reminds me of Imagine Dragons, that part. Could be used for breaks as tiny butts. Yeah, well, what would have been cool in that track? Let me just go back to it 1 minute, because I really like that intro. If you need to give the listener a break because it's just like a wall of sound the whole time, like going to a percussive rhythmic break that can still keep up the energy, but maybe can sort of use some of that Foley sound from the intro, you know, something like that. Think about it. Think about it. Nonetheless, fantastic track, Larryboy. Thank you so much for your submission. Let's dial that back. Next up, you heard that. You heard Sleigh Bells. We've got Nerm with Spring Chases Winter. Magical. Really good flute figure there. Oh. We've changed quite a bit. I like that it's like winter and spring are like arch nemesis. This almost brings me back to the Larryboy track. Hide your spring chickens, here comes the wolf, says Ted. Nice. On the back. Cool. Is it like winter chases spring then? Because is this winter first because I hear sleigh bells? And this is spring? Oh well, who can say? Concept in my head was a cinematic chase scene. First track in Ableton Live. Had fun with it. Congrats on your first track in Ableton Live, Nerm. I'm so glad. I think... First of all, I'm complimenting everybody that did a stark difference between their A and B section, so great job on that. And what I will say for feedback is you put in a lot of work going to that B section and totally switching up the feel, which is really cool because you carry some similar instrumental elements over into this section. So good. Connective tissue. We like that. What I'll also say, though, is like this section had its full four to the floor moment, right? Like, and then we get to the B section and it almost sounds like this entire B section is a build up. So I would have rather you build up this B section and there be an actual drop. It kind of just ends up fading out. Like, doesn't this sound like we're just waiting for a huge drop? Like, that would have been a more triumphant way to finish. But maybe it's not the vision. This to me just sounds like I wanted that one more. Like, this would be an instance where I'd be like, it's okay if you had 30 more seconds of this tune or 1 more minute of this tune, you know? Nonetheless, cool. I really like the guitar stuff in the second half, my friend. So thank you. I like Hans Zimmer. Bah. Every movie trailer. Bah. Good job. Nerm, I think is how you say that. Or Nerm. Nerm? Congrats on your first track in Ableton Live, my friend. These are your first steps. Okay. All right, hold on. I got to bring up another tab here now because I think I got lost in my tabs. But everybody's doing so well tonight. So good work, everybody. I've got Sub-Zero up next with Eerie Summer. Maybe a little Halloween vibe. And then we're going to get into our top 3. Remalox says, yeah, I kind of tried and had trouble with the drop in Send for Winter, kind of doing a slow collapse. Yeah, that seems like a lot of people's interpretation. Sub-Zero. Don't forget to go give your favorite artists from tonight a follow. Show some support. Really love that chop. It was a little like abrupt, but it's cool. This is an instance where I kind of like this like dissonance in this juxtaposition. And that little pluck on top is just too much, just a little bit too much. But otherwise, those two things are playing together nicely. Ford Road said, is it the first time hearing? No, it's usually my second time hearing the tracks on stream. They're still kind of fresh, but I do review them all before we put them on stream. Nice. Everybody, it's interesting, seems to go for that sort of like fade out ending. Not everybody, but many people. Sub-Zero, I'm gonna say this is like one of your strongest tracks yet, so good work. You're continually getting better. I prefer the first half of the track to the second half, but I think some of the creative things you did towards this end with some of that minor stuff against your chord progression is pretty cool. But then, like I said, that plucked instrument that comes in here, not there. There's a lead instrument that comes in that kind of like, I think is a bit too much. But good job on making your two distinct sections. Like you kind of have a darker section and a more upbeat section. Very good job with that. I don't have much other feedback for you, but Sub-Zero, every time you submit, it's getting better and better. I can tell you're putting a lot of thought into your tracks. So great work with that. I think your sound selection is getting a bit better. And the most interesting part, like where you took the biggest risk, was that transition, if I can find it. I'm never gonna be able to find it now. Where I had that cool stutter. Am I never gonna find it, chat? Sorry, I'm not gonna have you watch me just skim through this whole track the whole time, but nonetheless, great job, Sub-Zero. Thank you for turning in that track. Keep going, keep doing the challenges. You're getting better and better. Eerie, hence the name Eerie Summer. Yes, it does have a cool Halloween vibe, despite being Eerie Summer, you know? So good job, Sub-Zero. And now we move into a very important part of the evening, the top three. So these top three entries, as they do every week, will of course get a $100 ADSR store credit, meaning you can go buy yourself some really cool sounds. Do recommend you all gun for that because there's so many good sample packs that you've all seen me use on stream many times. You get the cool role in Discord. And then number one will get the Drumazon and Phasotron from D16 plugin. That will be the number one entry, of course. So why don't we go ahead and move in to our top three. The first one I want to show to you is, I don't know if it's their first time submitting or if I'm just forgetting, but their name is pretty epic, so I feel like I would have remembered it. We have Tadeshi Starwalker in the top three with a super interesting track here. Tadeshi, the sport one as well. Okay. I just feel like I would have remembered that name. What's up, Gorley Records? Tadeshi, tell us a little bit about the track in chat while we listen. Larryboy says, great feel on the drums. I agree, the drums have a great sound. And I also love this like ice thawing field recording. Hey. There's just a lot of emotion in this track. Gorley, we do these every other week, by the way. Every other week. Yes, make sure you're in the Discord. Such a sweet ending. Link is in the chat if you want to go click on this and save it for yourself. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. Let's give a sub for sure. Let's give a like. Song is about the life of a leaf. Ah, yes. It experiences every season. Beautiful in Japan. I love the sensibility of this track, and now that I read that description, I remember reading it earlier, and I think it's like absolutely the most perfect execution of that concept. And that's an example of, you know, the broad concept is the change of the season, but if you can find a concept like that to focus in on the life of a leaf, right, that experiences the seasons, you can really see that exemplified here throughout this track. Of course, we get that midpoint. That's almost dead center of the midpoint too, so shout out to you on that, my friend. It's almost like we were wilting for the winter, and then suddenly we were coming back to life. Things are in bloom again, and then towards the end we start fading out and the cycle continues, you know? It's very, very, very poetic. Tadeshi, I don't know if you recorded these instruments yourself, but they sound pretty good. Pretty good. Please, go give Tadeshi a follow. I love making film scores, trailer music, ambient tracks. Yeah, I could for sure hear this set to some amazing visuals. Looks like you got your Spotify and stuff all there. So if you all head to Tadeshi's page, it would be amazing. Give a sub, give a like, follow on the appropriate platforms. Probably a lot more fire where that came from. And I am hoping to hear more of your music as well, Tadeshi. So please enjoy the $100 ADSR credit that is coming your way. Pick up some cool sounds from the store, and I can't wait to hear what you make with them. But thank you so much for that. Great track. Nice. You love to hear it. All right, next up, we got a producer that's always bringing the fire, but I can't remember the last time they were in the top 3 because we like to spread the love. But with this one, really had to go for it. We have, of course, our friend Hydrotech in the top here. Let's all get ready to groove to this one. The end of summer with fall coming up. We're going to be looking out for that switch from major to minor and a mood change. Love that percussion. This is the end of a nice summer day at the beach. Vocal layering is very cool, of course. Those reverses tells us something's coming, a change is coming. And now we're properly in the relative minor. And suddenly, we're in one of those dope lo-fi beats, you know? Brilliantly executed. Yeah. Really well executed sections and just actually flipping to a completely different genre by the end. Like, don't forget, this is where we started. And I want to call special attention to that transition point. Of course, we bring in the top line, which if I had one piece of feedback, it would be that the top line vocal enters in very abruptly. I think you could have telegraphed that a vocal was coming in somewhere in here with either some chops or something. At least could have given the listener a little hint that a vocal was coming. It just kind of comes in as like, oh, there's vocals in the song. Who knew? Nonetheless, this transition area here, the thing that's cool about it is you do two things. First, you switch up the instrumentation. It becomes much more sparse. And we start with a very clean vocal. Eventually that turns into a layered vocal. And you use that as a transition tool. You use it as a common element that carries through into this section here. So even though the feel has drastically changed, we have the connective tissue of the vocal that we gradually built up over time. Not only that, but you took the time to get us to the minor. We didn't abruptly just switch to relative minor. You really took the time to get it to a point where resolving to that chord made sense. So by the time we hit it here, we feel like it belongs there. Piece of feedback for this section is I would not have had that bass line walking right away. I would have given it a moment to just dum, dum, like not have so much movement there and then bring that in later, but that's just personal choice. But absolutely brilliant transition section here. I think all of us could literally study this section and what makes it good. It's the transition, carrying the vocals over, gradually getting more and more sparse, and eventually resolving to not the major but the relative minor. And then when we do kick into an entirely different drum feel, we didn't expect it. It's not what came before. It's totally out of left field, but somehow it belongs and we're ready for it. So really well executed tune, Hydrotech. Thank you as usual. Congrats. Enjoy your $100 ADSR store credit. Shout out to you, my friend. And the last track we have to listen to tonight is by a producer that is ever so consistent, constantly working on magic, constantly bringing the pristine sounds on a bit of an epic journey through every one of their tracks. And this producer is going to be going home with not only a $100 ADSR store credit, but also the Drumazon and Phasotron 2 plugins from D16, our friends over there hooking up this winner. So without further ado, we must give a listen to our friend Nascent with Working Through It. Give it up, everybody. It's the world internet premiere of Working Through It. That's Michael G in the chat. Everybody give the props. You like me? You really like me? Indeed, they do. We do. I do. It's a whole atmosphere. When is Michael G gonna teach that mixing class? I want to see behind the scenes of some of these mixes because they're always so clean. Like that clap is just perfectly placed in the mix. It's wide but not dense, you know? Talk about a signature sound. Very distinctive style, yes, Hydrotech. Chord progression is the first one in reverse. It's genius. And we end as we begin, the cycle completing itself once again. Michael G, you are always bringing the clean, epic journeys that are your tracks. So I want to say thank you for always being so consistent, always pushing the envelope, but always being true to your own style of production. Through every entry you submit. So clean, so highly skilled. You deserve this. So thank you for your submission. Congrats to you. You're getting those 2 plugins from D16, as well as that $100 store credit, as well as that ADSR t-shirt, and that awesome role in the Discord. As you do deserve. People, please go give a follow and a like over on Audius to Nascent. Shout out to all those who submitted today. Everybody who is participating in the challenge is, of course, becoming a better music producer because you are pushing yourself to do something that is not from your own mind, but it's like prompted to you. It's pushing you in a direction you might not have gone in otherwise, which is very, very valuable to us creatives, especially when we're all out here in different corners of the world doing our own thing. It's how we stay connected as a community. That's the best part of this. So make sure you're in that Discord so you can participate in a future challenge if you have not yet, because of course we do these every 2 weeks, with the next one coming up being Halloween themed. That is, of course, you need to transpose your Halloween costume into a song. Of course, no copyright infringement allowed, but somehow transform it. And give me a suggestion for what I should dress up as on stream. Participate, my friends. We're giving away amazing plugins next time, as we did this time as well. But just to give you all a quick idea, next week, the total, or not next week, next challenge, the total value of the 4 plugins we are giving away in 2 weeks is $288 about. You got Tape Piano, which is a fire lo-fi plugin that just came out. Some of you saw me demo it on my own stream. We'll have Brain, which is a generative synth. Vibes by the Naton, which is an amazing kind of like lo-fi processing plugin. And we'll have Poison, which is a VST, a trap urban VST. So if you're not getting in on these challenges yet, there is no better time, because you got these 4 plugins that you could win in 2 weeks just by turning your Halloween costume into a song. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Come on, folks. Think about it. Anyway, yes, everybody great. Nascent and the rest of you in the top 3, thank you so much for your submissions. Everybody, thank you for submissions. You did a great job. I want to tell you all and remind you all, I know many of you are participating, but I am doing something with my community called Beattober, where people are making daily beat videos and posting them to Instagram with the hashtag Beattober. I will, of course, be on my channel streaming tomorrow. It is, of course, for charity. We are supporting a nonprofit called the Music and Youth Initiative, and we are looking to raise a bunch of money for them. We already hit our first donation goal, so I will be releasing a free loop pack very soon, because that was our first donation goal, and we're quickly on our way to the second donation goal. I will tell you all about that on my stream tomorrow on Thursday, where you can donate live. You can donate on most of my recent content anyway, but tatro.com/Beattober if you all want to find out more about that. It's never too late to jump in and start participating. I would love to have you all participate. That's coming up. Of course, Alina's show is tomorrow on the ADSR channel. Please tune into that. Of course, when you do tune into Alina's show, you're going to watch that. You can take a little bit of an hour break for lunch, and then you're back at your computer for my stream at 12 p.m. PST, which is 2 hours after Alina's stream, which is always good. Make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on. I can't stress that enough. I've got about 1 more month with this internet provider. I'm hoping they don't give me more trouble. But if they do, and we have to do something like we did tonight and go live a little bit later, you'll be the first to know when you get that notification, if you're in chat, and hopefully it won't be too annoying. But I do appreciate everybody standing by through the technical difficulty tonight. I think we had a great stream regardless, even if we were delayed by a half an hour. You guys are an amazing community, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you all for supporting each other as musicians, supporting me as the streamer, supporting ADSR as the channel that brings us all together. So good work, everybody. Keep putting in that work. Can't wait to hear what you do for the next challenge. And I will be back here on this channel next Wednesday. This channel will be live again tomorrow, and I will be live tomorrow on my channel as well. So lots more to come from all of us over here. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Tatro for ADSR. Have a good one.